Okay, it's a little warm in the van, but I need to work on the heater, and I'll show you why in just a second. I'm replacing the, well, there is no factory heater in this thing. There's factory air conditioning, but no heat. That vent right there was for the lead acid battery. It was an air intake. There was a drop through the floor, and then one through the side of the van that the hose ran to, that I now have set up for my solar. That vent right there, that hole, I want to use for my heater vent, but I have a problem. That's the space. That's the hose. It doesn't fit. So, that, which is my AC to DC converter charger, and this, which is my DC to DC charger and MPPT charge controller, are going to trade places. This is a lot thinner. This will allow me enough room over here to pass that line through. So over here where this hole is, actually where the seat belts are sitting, is where the heater is going to mount. Hose is going to come out, come over through here. I'm going to swap that vent out for this aimable vent that came with my heater kit. Now, there's a reason I'm doing this now. So why am I starting to worry about a heater when the temperatures are climbing? Real simple. I need to get into the gas tank. I'm installing a gasoline heater, and I need to install the siphon tube for the heater fuel pump. I can only do that with fuel tank down, and I don't want to be dropping that fuel tank multiple times. So while it's in the shop having that done, the original factory fuel pump replaced, which the factory fuel pump is bad. This thing actually has an inline fuel pump installed, an aftermarket one. It's loud, and I don't want it set up that way. I want it right. So we're fixing some previous repairs to the van. We're going to do them correctly. And, well, while we're in there, we're making that modification. So I've got to have somewhere for that fuel line to go. I'm not just going to leave it capped off. So I've got to get this done so that I can have some place for that fuel line to go. First thing that has to happen, the connections to the battery need to come off. Once that's done, I'm going to disconnect the line to the battery from the fuse panel. And the secondary line right here goes over to the controller to the charger. You know, I just looked at this. I can move the charger without moving the charge controller. Yeah, I think I'm going to do that. I have more than enough space. So, the charger, the converter charger gets moved. The lines there for ground need to be extended. So I need to come up with that's 6-gauge wire. And I need to come up with some 6-gauge. And I'm just going to extend those wires. I'm not even going to replace them. I'm going to extend them. I have some 6-gauge butt splices that will work. And they're soldering ones, so I'm going to have to be very careful soldering, but I'm going to solder them in so I've got a good solid connection, and then heat shrink them and call it good. But those grounds need to be extended. That one ground there that has the wire nut on it, I'm going to move over to the wheel arch, and I'm going to install a bus bar to the top of that wheel arch so I can attach grounds to it. This should have been done this last weekend. It didn't happen. There's a reason it didn't happen. I ended up with COVID. Now, I've done the Paxlovid thing. I'm still breathing a little funny. Not bad, just a little funny. And, but I'm getting over it. Once that's fully done, I'm going to be taking this thing in. Well, I've got to do that move on the electrical. Basically, I'm going to move the converter charger. I'm going to cut the hole in the floor for the heater. I have a turret mount that will protect the rest of the floor from the heater. Drop the heater through. The signal wire, which is the wire you saw in that vent for the DC to DC charger circuit, I'm going to run through the floor, along the frame, and then bring it back up into the cab under the hood. I got to figure out where penetration behind the dash is. That hasn't been super easy to find in this van. My F-150 was a lot easier to find firewall penetrations in. Once that's done, I'm going to close up that drop hole in the floor. I'm probably just going to use some sheet metal and some adhesive, like some silicone adhesive caulk. I'm just looking to prevent rust and leakage into the van. I don't care that it looks funny in a compartment like that. It doesn't matter. Yeah. Then, once I get it back from the shop, I'll finish making the electrical connections for the heater. The shop will have made the fuel connections. I'll finish making the intake and exhaust connection. Finish up that. I'll have the vent installed and the line, the heater tube installed, and I'll set up the controller thermostat on the wall, and then we'll test it. I have a sneaking suspicion it'll probably bake me out of this thing right now. It's temperatures today are in the low 70s. I don't have the window covers up in the cab, so it's getting a little toasty in here. But I think with the windows open, it'll be fine. It's probably going to be well out of season by the time I get the van back. I've checked to make sure the StarCool does work. Okay, plugged in and on engine power, it does work. I haven't given it a run through on a hot day yet, but on days like today, I've tested it, and it blows cold air out of the vents. I probably should get out here with my non-contact thermometer and find out exactly how cold the air is. But I've got the back doors of the van open. That's why you see light over there. A nice breeze is blowing through here. This would be a great day to be camping, even with the sun beating down on the roof of the van. With the windows open and the breeze going, oh man, it is nice. I could sure use to be outside more. So, especially with this COVID crud going on. We're going to get done what we can get done when we can get it done. And we're going to move forward. So, My plans for the 4-wheel drive build are still in the planning stage. I'm not giving up on that. What I will say, though, is I don't know if it's going to happen in 2024. I thought it was going to. I'd like to make sure that the economy stays solid for a while longer before I dump that kind of money into the van, because if things go sour and I need to live in the van, I need to live in the van. And I need to have the money that I've got to do that. So we'll see. I mean, I've got some home repairs I need to do, and God willing, the creeks don't rise and the economy doesn't totally bail out on us. I'll hold on to this house, but we'll see. Okay, so the AC to DC converter charger has been removed from that wall. We're installed here. The DC to DC charger and PPT charge controller is right there. I need to tidy up some of these wires. I'm going to set these anchors in place for zip ties and attach the wires to the wall, shorten them up a little bit. I have the heater mounted in place. That bundle of wire that's sitting back there is for the extension that goes for the solar. It's supposed to be that long. I'm going to leave it. So a little bit of tidying left to do, and installing this cabinet's done. That box has the shock absorbers, air conditioning parts, the rest of the heater parts, and the high output alternator. Got lots of work to do. The duct, as you can see, is angleable. I'll probably angle it something like that or that, so I can get hot air out into the middle of the van. I'm going to swap, well, let me change angles. I'm going to swap these lamps out for LED wall lamps with USB power, and I've got some LED or some USB powered desk fans that I'm going to modify to basically, we're just going to stir the air around in here, so when the heater's going, it'll move around. When the Starcool AC is going, it'll move the air around, so it'll be nice and comfortable in here. Before we go to the shop, I've got some cleanup to do in here. And I still have those tires I need to do on the Nissan. So, that's the wiring coming from the van. That's the Anderson connector. I could literally cut this down to where this wire is about 4 inches. I think I'm going to do that. Okay, the heater's installed. This long cable that we're seeing here, that goes to the port through the side of the van. That's for the Anderson connector. The other cables have been cut short to fit efficiently in the van. Well, okay, except for maybe that one battery feed cable. I'm not going to shorten it up, though. It's not that big a deal. We're tidied up here. The converter charger, the DC to DC charger and MPPT controllers in, and we have 400 amp hours of lithium iron phosphate battery. That pretty much sums up. This has the built-in Bluetooth BMS, so my battery monitoring is actually through my phone. I don't have to have additional wiring for anything else. The sealant I chose to use on here probably wasn't my best choice ever, but there's the Anderson connector that goes to a single or dual SAE connector for the solar panels. So I can run either 300 or 600 watts of solar in. I have my factory, that's Sportsmobile factory, 30 amp 110 volt right there. That's it. That gets my power in and stores it, charges it. Okay, so we've got the MPPT charger controller, DC to DC charger is in. The 110 volt to 12 volt inverter charger is in. You saw that 400 amp hour battery. We've got all of our cabling tidied up as best as it can be. I wanted that extra cabling for that Anderson connector. It's about 4 feet of extra wire in there, so I've got some extra to pull out of the van when I make the connection to the solar panels. Just gives me that extra little distance. So if I have to go just a couple of feet further with the panels than I usually would, I've got it. I didn't show the panels. The panels are two 300 watt Dokio. They're the suitcase style panels. They required separate kickstands. Those were Dokio as well. I'll put the items, the links to the items that I used in the description. If you want to duplicate my setup or even parts of it, I'd sure appreciate that you use my Amazon affiliate links. That gives me a little bit of support. Not a lot, but a little bit's better than nothing. Anyway, so the electrical's in. It's been tested. It works. It works great. Couldn't be happier. The rest of the van needs to go into the shop here real soon. I've got a stack of work that I just don't want to do. I'm just, don't want to deal with it. Got some exhaust manifold leaks. We've got to drop the fuel tank to install the dip tube and the fuel pump for the heater. Plus, we're going to replace the factory fuel pump. The fuel pump that's in the van now is an aftermarket, and it's really loud. And I don't think it's delivering proper pressure. So I'm going to get that fixed. Going to get a tune-up, get the exhaust manifold fixed. There's some leftover work that wasn't done before. We're replacing the AC compressor. I'm going to see if we can also replace the receiver dryer on the Starcool, so that it, because it's the casing's rusting, and I don't want to have it blow out. So I'm going to talk to the shop about that. Other than that, once that's all done, this thing should literally be ready to just hit the key and head out wherever I want to go. So we're going to hopefully get this handled here real soon. But of course, the one major thing that I'm not doing yet is the four-wheel drive conversion. That's coming, but it's being delayed a little bit. Got some budget issues I need to handle first. Of course, if anybody wants to sponsor a four-wheel drive conversion, be more than happy to accept it. So, all right, that's it. That's all I got for this video. Thank you for watching. Thanks for watching my video. If you liked what you saw, please click like, subscribe, and share my content. Please go back and watch the old stuff. There's a lot of good material there for you to enjoy. And like I always say, get out there, be busy, be safe, but most of all, be blessed. I'll talk to you later.